have a hypothetical situation for you, okay? I want you to imagine that you are the chosen one on a fabled fantasy adventure in a faraway and strange land. You have infinite potential and opportunity ahead, but let's just say things aren't so storybook. So the region you find yourself in is chock full of very, very real sinister dangers. You are personally hunted by assassins in the night, attacked by aggressive wildlife in the day, and are constantly fighting off cultists, bandits, ruffians, haters, disease, and certain death. But all the while, you are also led by a prophecy to eventually confront and kill an ancient, insane, all-powerful god living inside of a volcano.
Hey man, I just want to talk.
And straight up, dude, your life sucks. This is a lot to deal with, and it is crazy stressful. So one bright, beautiful Morrowind morning, you decide, you know what, man? Today, just today, I need to blow off some steam, to just take a break. So you head out into the wastes to find yourself some much-deserved relief. And while there are drugs and more primal vices on tap, what you truly crave, man, is a simple drink. More specifically, you seek a single cup of Dunmary Lean. I'm talking about the good stuff, baby, that sweet, sweet Sujamma to ease your mind and take the edge off. So off you go. You travel through towns, great cities, strange jungles, and ancient ruins to find that ultimately you have two options. You can either purchase your favorite bottle of Sujamma from this guy in a nice warm tavern and kick your feet up by the fire, or you can get your fix from, and I am not kidding, a wealthy alcoholic crab in the middle of nowhere.
What?
So, who are you gonna pick? And don't think too hard now. I mean, if you ask me, I'm gonna be getting crustaceous with it all day, every day, because this right here is the subject of today's video. An absolutely legendary and entirely missable character found in the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, a game that you can go and play right now to live out this hypothetical crab quest. Now listen, I fully realize that since I started this video series on NPCs, the majority of the entries have come from the Elder Scrolls. Now, of course, I love these games, man, and that's a huge part of it. I'm always going to try to make content that interests me too, but it's also just an undeniable fact that over the last 20 plus years, Bethesda has created worlds that are downright rich and fun to explore, with one of the key ingredients to the pie being the people. The characters, big and small, make these lands breathe and really feel authentic, giving every location, quest, event, and item an extra sense of weight and wonder. But today, the NPC we're honing in on is, yes, a damn crab, and it's not a joke. Well, at least not entirely, because this is a refined gentleman of a crustacean who makes an honest, hard living here on the Isle of Vardenfell peddling his wares, the one and only Mudcrab merchant. A character that has long been beloved and cherished by fans as a sort of Easter egg goofy guy, but one that is actually very useful to the player if you know a thing or two, and assuming you didn't accidentally kill him when you first met him. Now, I also admit that this is not going to be the epic video that Maik the Liar gave us, or maybe even Fargoth, but in my opinion, it is very important to give flowers to the little guys, man, and look at this little guy. I love him, and I assure you that, as usual, there is more than meets the eye. But really quick, I just want to pause and thank all of my patrons for supporting this channel away from YouTube. It really helps me out a ton. You guys are all wonderful. I am Ghost, your host as always, and without further ado, let's get ready to sell in bulk and learn all there is to know about the Mudcrab merchant. So before any fine details, I think we should cover the Mudcrab merchant's people, the Mudcrabs, as I think it will help us highlight right off the bat how singular and absurd this NPC truly is. Well, Mudcrabs are one of the most common enemies in the Elder Scrolls series period, but actually made their big debut right here in Morrowind. What they are is really just big-ass crabs that hang around coastlines in little groups or solo, and they generally chill out and sleep unless you get too close, in which case they will become hostile. These are very basic, low-level, low-threat enemies in every single game, and exist in the same tier with scrubs like rats and skeevers. Basically, they stink, bro. But there are a few different regional subspecies we have seen over the years. In Skyrim, they look like this. In Cyrodiil, they take on a more slender silhouette, and then here in Morrowind, they really resemble almost like a horseshoe crab and camouflage themselves as rocks. But in every game, they are slow, pinching, water-breathing little buggers that act as little more than an inconvenience, as well as ammunition for some scathing insults.
I've fought mudcrabs more fearsome than you.
They are generally regarded as vermin by the people of Tamriel and are regularly hunted and eaten or harvested for parts useful in the alchemical arts. In the grand scheme of things, man, they are very much an afterthought. But boy, the Mudcrab merchant is built a little bit different. However, one thing I worry about with this little guy is that obviously he is a working citizen of Morrowind. So what if he's abroad on business in, say, Hammerfell or elsewhere, and in his downtime wants to kick back at the hotel and watch his favorite Dunmer sitcoms, but logs in to find he has been region blocked? Well, don't you worry, dude, because I hooked our man up with the sponsor of today's video, Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is quite simply the best VPN service out there, and I would know, dude, because I use it myself. It allows you to surf the web with true freedom, unlock your favorite content from all over the world on sites like Netflix and other streaming platforms. It keeps your Google searches completely private, stops ads and malware from stinking up your day, and with one single subscription, you can access Atlas on all of your devices. Now, hey, I know what you're thinking. What if business has been slow for the Mudcrab merchant recently and his pockets are a little thin? Well, Atlas is also the most affordable VPN on the market, and right now, you can grab the big deal to secure Atlas Premium for just $183 a month plus 3 months extra.
Holy Tribunal, that is quite a good deal, Ghostcharm, my very handsome friend.
Yeah, man, I know, Dagoth.
Does this service provide me with the resources necessary to complete a Kulakan and spread a little corpus?
Yeah, honestly, that is a feature, of course. Use the special Ghostcharm link down below in the pinned comment to directly support the channel and get your booty on the Atlas VPN hype train. Thank you, Atlas VPN, for sponsoring this video. So okay, enough crabbing around, boys. I want to get my claws on this fella. Where is he, and what is he like? Well, you probably already know that the game Morrowind is a true RPG. Its landscape and world are stuffed to the gills with interesting things to find and people to meet. But the game mostly takes place on only a part of the region of Morrowind, the Isle of Vardenfell, which itself is sliced up into various sub-regions, and to find our favorite merchant, you have to head to the area known as Azura's Coast on the southeastern banks. This is a rocky, desolate, kind of brutal corner of the world, mostly made up of small islands, Daedric ruins, a few towns, and the city of Sadrith Mora. But on this particular rock, right here... No, wait, sorry. This rock. Wait, damn. Okay, I swear it's this one. No, this ain't him, damn. This one? Yes, here he is, in all his decapod glory. Look at him. But you might notice that there is absolutely nothing to tell the player that he is anything special at all. No unique nameplate, coloring, voice, a little sign, pile of stuff behind him he's selling, no nothing. In fact, it is very, very common for people to just accidentally kill this guy because, well, if you're down here, you've likely been playing the game for a handful of hours and have already killed generations upon generations of mudcrabs without a second thought. But if you are wise of this man's true identity, or you accidentally press interact instead of attack, boom, the fabled dialogue box opens and you are now in on one of the great secrets of Morrowind. You are speaking with the legend himself, and he simply says,
"How dry I am, how dry I am. Nobody knows how dry I am. Say, hi there, let's make a deal. I got stuff, lots, here, see?"
So obviously, he is already inebriated, drinking on the job delinquent activity, you rascally little crab. And as you can see, there are a few things we can ask about. So inquire on his background, and he says this.
"What do you think? Sheesh, I'm a mudcrab. Crab. Sure, a mudcrab, that's me. Pretty sure I look like a mudcrab, right? Must be. This is me talking, right? So I must be a talking mudcrab. And I sell stuff, right? So I must be a talking mudcrab merchant. Stands to reason, don't it?"
Ask about the simple fact that he's a fucking mudcrab merchant, and he says this.
"Sure, that's what I said. Did I stutter or something? Talking mudcrab merchant. Read my lips. Mouth parts. Read my mouth parts. Something ain't right. But never mind, just one of life's little mysteries. So you gonna buy something or just sit here jawing all day?"
Shout out to my friend Matt for voicing the Mudcrab merchant. Everyone, clap for him right now. Clap. But then, of course, the main attraction is bartering with him. And let's just say that my man has deep pockets. Yes, 10,000 gold to barter with, and that makes him the single richest merchant in the entire game of Morrowind, and it is not particularly close. Additionally, the Mudcrab and the other non-humanoid merchant Creeper, who's a whole other can of worms, always buy your items from you at their base full value, opposed to adjusting their prices according to your mercantile skill and disposition. So if you want to rake in serious cash in this game and get the full price back on your junk or expensive loot, this is the only place to come. And man, I find it really hilarious and honestly pretty cool that this is the case. I mean, the Mudcrab merchant could have easily been just a joke with a couple hundred gold to barter with and some alcohol to sell, but Bethesda went out of their way to make this little dude extremely valuable when it comes to simply amassing wealth. And here in Morrowind, in my opinion, money is freedom. Money means lavish player homes, all of the ingredients you could ever need for potions, fancy spells, weapons, and armor. It is absolutely worth it to come here to our Lord and Savior, ball out, and stretch your stuff to its maximum dollar value. However, though the Mudcrab merchant is the ultimate plug in this regard, he only deals in weapons, armor, and potions. You can't sell him random miscellaneous stuff or ingredients, which is probably for the best as far as game balance. Though he will purchase your skooma at full price, skooma being the Tamriel equivalent of, well, crack cocaine, so this dude obviously loves to party. But just like any merchant here in Morrowind, the Mudcrab's gold for bartering resets once per day, meaning if you have a ton of stuff to sell, you can straight up just camp out next to him and over the course of a few days, make a fortune. However, because he is in the wild on this little island, using the wait feature to fully utilize his pocketbook can be pretty annoying. Creatures and enemies will absolutely interrupt your rest period here and kind of waste your time. So what can be done then? Sure is inconvenient. Well, this is Morrowind, baby, and there is no problem a little magic can't solve. So this is what I like to do.
Initiate animal affinity. Intensify. More. Initiate launch protocols. Maximize. Identify the blueprint of the future. Perfection. The time has come. All systems functional. Target is airborne. Rendezvous at the extraction point. We are getting this soldier to safe ground. Oh shit, I think he got stuck on this tree. Re-engaged. Shields have been fully activated. Prepare for touchdown. Target is in the clear. Repeat, in the clear. Gentlemen, we have done it. This achievement will echo throughout the ages.
And just like that, the richest, drunkest merchant in the entire province can be anywhere you want him to be, easy. And if I'm completely honest, guys, that's kind of the extent of what this character is. Isn't he perfect? Don't you just love him? But you might be wondering right now, with how difficult he is to physically find, are there any hints or whispers within the game world about a literal talking mudcrab? I mean, you'd think so. And the answer is yes. In the city of Ebonheart, within the Imperial Chapels, a Redguard trader named Kay will disclose a secret to you if you have high enough disposition with him. But he speaks very cryptically of an associate of his who ran into a big spender with an alcohol problem down on Azura's coast, and that's all you get. But additionally, the famous Khajiit NPC Mike the Liar shares some more on-the-nose information, I'd say, so you can ask him directly about a mudcrab merchant, and he openly says, yeah, that's a thing, and they're starting to kind of take over the place, but offers no clue about the location of such an NPC. So with everything that we have just said and covered, I want you to really remember the time period that this game came out, man. 2002, the age of cheat code books and full-on game FAQ guides with the artwork and stuff in the margins. I mean, imagine, if you will, hearing some kid at school or a friend at work talk to you about finding a mudcrab who could communicate with you, got drunk, and had $10,000. That is peak Y2K video game gossip. Like, really? That sounds like a bunch of poo-poo, Jared. And then you go home, turn on the game, go to the place Jared described, and lo and behold, here he is. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Jared. The word of mouth, forum posts, and more analog experience that gaming was back then really made things just like the Mudcrab merchant just hit different, man. And ultimately, I do find this character to be one of the best little secrets Bethesda has ever crafted to date, even if you can fully experience and enjoy Morrowind without him. I just feel that he really highlights the special quality of video game Easter eggs. You see, Morrowind, by today's standards anyway, a little rough for first-time players, right? You walk slow, you miss a lot, you get crippling diseases, people hate you, Daedra threaten to defile your corpse, cliff racers drive you criminally insane. But as you build your character out, get stronger, wiser to the dangers of the world, and really just get higher level, you will be able to expand your range of exploration. Now, don't get me wrong, exploration is key to any open world game, right? But the way Elder Scrolls titles, and especially Morrowind, reward this activity is the very DNA of like the entire thing. Coming upon an interesting character like this, or a quest out in the wild, a powerful item in a tomb somewhere, this is truly how you are meant to play and enjoy the game while you increase your base of knowledge as well as power. And of course, if exploration is that vital, then the architects of this virtual world are going to have some fun with you. And I mean, Easter eggs have been around forever. This is not a Morrowind thing. If it was a photo of like a developer or a friend behind a secret wall, a shout out to another game entirely, or something more on the nose and meta, these little nuggets are always there to make us laugh or think or connect some sort of fourth wall breaking dots in really fun and interesting ways. But Morrowind specifically really does not shy away from having some fun with these. From references to things like Pokemon, Indiana Jones, college basketball rivalries, Monty Python, to the more obscure associations with classic literature, Roman theater, and Leonardo da Vinci's sketches. I mean, there's some high and low-brow stuff here, so I find it very funny and super endearing that the Mudcrab merchant remains one of the most well-known and definitely the most beloved. Just a crab that sells and buys goods while drinking his own supply away in the sunlight. He's not a pop culture reference, not a wink at any other game or character or property, just really a singular goofball. Now, we always in these videos talk about the legacy that a character leaves behind, right? The lasting impression of their inclusion in a given virtual space. And characters like this, in my opinion, are some of the very best ever in video games. The Mudcrab merchant does not have any lore. No, he wasn't a man turned into a crab, or a crab that was put under an alcoholism spell and cursed to speak and participate in the capitalist agenda. There's no grand significance here to the story or lore of the world, not even any worthwhile theories. This is an NPC that is purely here to make you laugh for a minute and add a sense of surprise and whimsy to the experience of playing the game. Fantasy in general is a setting and genre that I find to be closely linked with humor. Now, maybe that's just me and my love for Terry Pratchett and Monty Python, fairy tales, and stuff like that, but I think there's always space here for a laugh or two. Using the absurd parameters of a world that is, in essence, limitless, and then going one step beyond that is a really fun exploration of expectation and magic. Like, imagine if there was a talking crab in a Call of Duty game.
What do you think?
It might be funny for like a second, but it would so heavily stick out as like just a joke. Whereas here in Morrowind, there is definitely that initial, oh, holy shit, dude moment, but then you're just like, okay, word. This is Gerald. He's gonna come fly with me to my house, and I'm gonna sell him illegal drugs until I have enough money to get items and go kill Dagoth.
Goddamn Nerevar, how did you get so iced out?
Also, don't forget that this character paved the way for other unique Mudcrabs moving forward. That's right, boys, he is not the only one. So in Oblivion, there is the famous secret spectral Mudcrab found in Mankar Cameron's Paradise, which can only be hit by magical weapons, which is interesting, as well as the King Mudcrab, an enemy guarding some chests in Greenmead Cave. Then in Skyrim, we have a giant fossilized Mudcrab, Pincer, a Mudcrab pet that your adopted kid can bring home, and Old Salty, another massive unit of a Mudcrab in the Dragonborn DLC. And then, to top it all off, the Elder Scrolls card game known as Legends featured our guy as his very own card with an appropriate effect and epic rarity. Simply fantastic. So, the next time you are out wandering the land as the Chosen One, feeling a little stressed, a little sad, needing to take that edge off and get crunk for an afternoon, don't attack that Mudcrab you see chilling in the distance, because he might just have exactly what you're after, and then some. Thank you guys so much for watching to the end. This was a really fun little video to make for sure, and it was a long time coming. Be sure to use that Atlas VPN code down below to get that service for the cheap and support the channel. Another huge thanks to Atlas for sponsoring today's video, and another warm thank you to the patrons. Now, fellas, let me know down below characters just like this that you really love. The smaller and goofier, the better. Well, that's all for today. Take care of yourselves, be nice to one another, and I will see you all very soon. Until next time, peace.